Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality in a way that is extremely empowering. Speaking of exploring powerful perspectives, I'm super excited to announce the release of my very first book, The Golden Key: Modern Alchemy to Unlock Infinite Abundance. If you're ready to alchemize the circumstances in your life so that your abundance expands to an entirely new level in 2021, head over to goldenkey.gift to download the audio or ebook as my gift to you by using the code POSITIVEHEAD.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome on in all. Thank you for joining Samantha and I today. We're so excited to be here with you. Hi, Samantha.
Hello, Erica. It is always a great pleasure to chat with you, and I'm really excited about what we're going to talk about.
Me too. This is in the air, you guys. I know you've been feeling it. This topic that we're going to talk about today, and I don't know. I'm sure we've talked about this a couple times here and there on multiple episodes on this podcast, but today we really want to talk about this concept of taking our power back, really understanding how powerful we are as beings and owning it and really standing in it. It's
Yeah.
time. It's really time for all of us to do that right now. So, here we are.
Yes, absolutely. And there's so many different levels and layers that this is being called forward in, right?
Yeah.
We have like the macro levels and like on the global scale, we have as individuals, we have as nations, we have, but then also in our bodies, in our mindsets, in what we allow, in our boundaries.
Totally.
And yeah, we're seeing it everywhere. This is definitely a theme. Another thing I've noticed a lot is volcanic eruptions around the world. All of these volcanoes are erupting. And so this like eruption and releasing this anger and frustration, and then really reclaiming power and owning ourselves. And yeah, so how is it showing up for you, Erica, this reclamation of power?
Well, I think one of the biggest ways it's really showing up is what's going on in the world. And I love this point how that you made just then about the macro and the micro. It really is on all levels. And that's why you can see the energy being so intense when you see it on all levels and so many people tuning into it. But for me, it's really about what's going on in the world, about our health and our choices and our freedoms in that regard. And yeah, so a lot of people are really standing in their power, understanding how powerful they are as human beings and how miraculous their bodies are and how our bodies have the capability of healing themselves. We really are miraculous machines and our bodies
Mm,
know what to do, you know? And to stand in that power of knowing is what keeps you healthy. You know, when you lose that belief system, when you don't believe in the power of your body and how miraculous it is, then you're negating how powerful it is and you're telling it that it's not. And so it's like, all right, so I guess I'm not, right? It listens to you. And so I think it's so important for us to understand truly that we can heal ourselves and our bodies can do it all by themselves.
mm,
We just need to
yeah,
get out of the way.
absolutely.
That's the biggest thing. It's just getting out of the body's way. Mind,
Yeah,
body, spirit, in all the ways.
that's exactly it. That belief that we have the power
Yeah.
to have the sovereignty to choose. And I'm seeing that show up, yes, on a personal level, and then also really on a collective level, especially in the United States. Like, you know, a lot of listeners are from the US, from Canada. We also have listeners from all around the world. And the globe likes to make fun of Americans. They like to pick on America. But truly, from what I've seen from living all around the world and not being an American, so I don't have some kind of bias, but America truly is one of the only countries that fights for their right to be free.
Yeah.
It's one of the only countries where the people actually question the government and say, no, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're not going to take my land. No, you're not going to take my freedom. No, you're not going to needle me. No, you're not going to force me to stay in my house for a year because this doesn't make any sense. And so we are going to stand for what we believe in. We're going to bind together and we're going to fight for our right to be free
Yeah.
and to reclaim our power. And I admire that so much, especially now when I'm surrounded by people that are all drones. We're living in Spain specifically, the compliance, and nobody's fighting for their right. Nobody's standing up. And I really, I just see this, the power of, even with the masks and the lockdowns, when we look at the United States, more than 10 states have now ended all of the political tyranny and the lockdowns and the vaccine passports. And where you can have a vaccine if you want, you can wear a mask if you want, but it's no longer forced upon children and pregnant women and men and women.
Right.
And that only happened because people fought for their rights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is and should always be a personal choice. Whatever you want to put in your body, your choice. Whatever you want to put on your body, your choice, right? No one should ever be able to tell you what to do with that, or how they feel about what you're doing about it, right? Like your decision, period. Like let it be just that. And and there's this thing of, well, we're supposed to do this and we're supposed to do that. And the story that has been told says that we're supposed to. And, I'm one of those people that when you tell me I'm supposed to do something, and I think this is natural human behavior, but when you tell me I'm supposed to, I'm like, I don't think so. Supposed to doesn't sound good. How about what else? Like, what are my other options? I don't like supposed to. I don't like being told what to do.
You
You
don't
know,
like being shit on.
I don't like
I
being
don't
shit
like
on.
being
Absolutely
I
not.
don't like being shit on either. I
Yeah.
hate it, in fact.
Hmm.
And you and I share this rebel archetype
Yes.
where, we live by our own rules and
Yeah.
we discern and we ask what's true. And yes, anytime somebody's like, well, this is just how it is. You don't ask any questions. This is just how it is. That's very much like a very
No
strong
way.
religious dogma. And I was
Right.
raised in the Catholic Church, and it's like, oh,
Me
well, you don't
too.
question.
Me
You
too.
don't, you
Same.
just do as you're told, little girl.
Right.
You be a good girl.
Mm-hmm.
And that never landed for me. It never worked for me. And so, especially with my health, where my doctor's just, oh, well, you need to get that cut out, you need to be on this med, you need to take this surgery, you need to do this. And it never resonated with me. And that was really a reclamation of my power, deciding exactly what you said. No, this is what I want to put in my body, and I want to keep my organs. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And and yeah, so there's so many different ways, especially what I'm seeing now in my own personal world is in relationships and in having boundaries around myself and not internalizing my relationships or my partners or my friends or my parents' issues.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that's so subtle, but I realized that I used to internalize everything. So say they were being toxic or dramatic or they were abusive, instead of just putting up a boundary and saying, no, that's not okay, I would let it consume me and be so upset and so devastated and so hurt and make myself sick with it. And I realized that that was me giving away my power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. We do that so often and we don't even realize that we're doing it. Right. But what
Yeah.
I'm seeing now is that we're starting to recognize that we're doing it. And so many people are standing up in their power now and creating that boundary and saying, this is not okay for me. And I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm no longer going to hide it for you. Like
Yeah.
I've been having conversations with a lot of people who, maybe their partner has an addiction issue or an abuse issue, right? Towards them or, to anyone for that matter. And and they hide it, because they feel they're internalizing it like that people are going to look at them in some kind of way. And they want to hold this picture that everything is okay and everything is fine, right? Well, everyone loses. Everybody loses in that situation. And we feel like we get so scared about just holding people accountable and just saying it and being real with it and standing it and be like, yeah, this is what's going on. I need help, right? So many more people are doing that now. And that's what we all need to do, to just be real and be very truthful and just standing there and be like, yeah, this is what it is right now. I'm not going to hide it anymore. That's not helping me. It's not helping anybody. Right.
Yeah.
It's so powerful when you can do that. You feel like you're being weak and vulnerable, but do you understand how much strength it takes to do that? And then when you do it, wow, wow, you learn how strong you are. That look what I can do. And you know what? I'm okay. Going through it really sucked, but once I got through it, I look back and I'm like, "Wow, look what I learned, and I'm all right." So there's no reason to fear going through these things that seem to be fearful. We're just comfortable in our misery, and that's silly.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a quick moment to tell you about our sponsor, Noom. Noom is a unique habit changing solution that helps users learn to develop a new relationship with food. And it's not a diet. No food is considered good or bad. As we talk about on this show all the time, it's all about proper balance and having good habits. And Noom just teaches you how to look within your own mind and make better decisions for yourself. Sounds familiar, right? It's based in psychology, eating better to feel better. It focuses on the story that we tell around food and how to feel good about our choices. And they make it all super easy to do with a minimal commitment of only 10 minutes a day, which is essential for someone like me with so much on my plate. Pun intended. So if you guys would like to try out the cognitive behavioral approach to losing weight that has led to 80% of Noomers finishing the program and 60% sticking to their goals for at least 1 year, head over to noom.com/positivehead to start your trial today. That's spelled NOOM.com/positivehead. I mean, what do you have to lose except outdated habits and perhaps a few extra pounds by signing up for the trial? Once again, that's NOOM.com/positivehead. Check it out.
Yeah, that's exactly it. One of the biggest inhibitors or diminishers to claiming personal power is hiding in the shame.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Like being in the shadow, being in the shame, and
Mhm.
and hiding out, and not asking for help, or not being willing to have the courage to share that, okay, there's something wrong here.
Mhm.
Right? Like being even willing to admit it to ourselves sometimes is really challenging,
Oh
especially
yeah.
if it comes to love, or it comes to something with our bodies, or a a way that we've been in community, or in any kind of way. It can be really challenging to acknowledge, like, hey, yeah, I'm going through some really hard things,
Mhm.
and I'm not perfect, and
Mhm.
I actually need help, and I'm willing to take back my power from whoever, whatever, wherever I gave it, or whoever took it, because I deserve that,
Mhm.
because I'm ready to do the work, because I want to be healed and whole and happy and free. And that is a process, and yet it is definitely the most fulfilling process that one can go through.
Absolutely. 100%. I mean, I think that's really one of the reasons why we're all here too. There's so many reasons why we're all here. And one of them is to learn how to work with and manipulate energy, right? And so this is basically what we're doing is the energy of ourselves and learning how to work with it and, you know, harnessing that immense power. I mean, we have two choices always. We can let it bring us down or we can let it pull us up. And when we learn how to work with that energy, wow. I mean, our lives completely 100% change when we play with this energy differently. When we realize that that's all it is, right? And we're playing with it too. This is a game. We get to play, right? And just owning that belief system of that every cell in your body has the power of infinity within it. In the space, actually. It's not even in the material, it's all in the space. That's kinda mind-blowing to think about, but it's true.
It really is. And
Yeah.
what we do as beings is we transform source consciousness or energy or data or whatever you want to call it, stardust, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
We take nothingness, and through our minds and our emotions and then our feelings and our actions, we create,
Mhm.
right? Like we
Yeah.
create our worlds. Just everything is constantly being transformed, and that is, we are taking pure infinite potentiality, and through our bodies, we're turning it into something different.
Yeah.
And we really are the architects of our own reality.
Mhm.
We really do get to co-create with source consciousness or God or the infinite, whatever you want to call it. And everything that we're seeing and experiencing in our lives, is 100% our responsibility in
Mhm.
some kind of way. And that can be
Yeah.
really challenging to acknowledge. But when you realize, oh, everything I'm feeling is my responsibility.
Yep. Everything.
Okay, what now?
Yes. Yes. So Buddha said, um, no one can save us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. Nobody can do this for you but you. Like, this is everything in your journey is a personal responsibility. And the more you own it, the more powerful you feel because you get, oh, I did that. I brought that in. Oh, I see how I'm doing that. Okay, I can do that, or I can do something greater, right? When we get that
Yes.
we can do that, it's like, okay, now, oh yeah, I get it. I am a great and powerful being. I really am.
Yeah.
Look what I can do. I can work with this energy in this way. And that's how it all works. And that's why we can heal ourselves. Same idea. It's all the same idea. We just have to apply it to all the different areas in our life, right?
That's it. And we have to remove the things that inhibit us. So,
Yes.
inhibitors, you have to see, like, well, what would inhibit somebody from claiming their power? Well, stories. Stories inhibit
Mm,
us. The story that, well, I don't deserve to be happy, or I deserve to be abused, or, yeah, well, no, my body's just weak, or, well, my mom had cancer, and so I just have cancer, and I'm just going to be the same as my mother. Or, well, this is what the government says, and so I can't, who am I to go against what the government says? Or my impact isn't going to matter, my voice doesn't matter, I just can't do it, no matter what, I always fail, I always give up. All of these stories,
mhm.
that's all that they are. The blockages between you and your empowerment and your freedom and your reclamation of power is just held behind stories
Mhm.
that you are choosing to believe.
Yeah.
And so write down all of those stories, get a list of all of the disempowering stories, all of the limiting beliefs, and one by one, write the opposite, write the positive, affirming sentence. And then every single day, 10 times a day if you need to, read those and read them and read them and recite them to yourself a million times if you need to until it becomes true. But eventually it will start to become true, because your thoughts, when you're repeatedly reciting these, your thoughts are sending the message down to your cells,
Mhm.
and your cells are listening. And then your energy is shifting, and then your reality is shifting to meet your energy.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, your life is different because you are different because of the stories that you've chosen to rewrite for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love that, Sam. That's really good. And when you're doing that too, understand that all of those ways that you're negating or holding yourself back, those are your shadow aspects, and those shadows are you have the equal and opposite power of that light within you. And that's what I think is so cool about really looking at that. If you think it's really bad and it really has a hold on you, well, guess what? That's because your power is that strong. Look at it that way. It literally is equal and opposite. That shadow is there to show you how powerful your light really is. Because otherwise you wouldn't recognize it. You wouldn't see it. You have to learn it by seeing the contrast, right? And once you get
Mm-hmm.
that and you're like, "Whoa, all right. This is within me." Yeah, game changer. This is all a
Yes,
game, this life. It
absolutely.
really is a beautiful game for us to recognize that we are here, that we are the creators, that we decide, we choose, and that is so powerful. And all of this, the greatest power, since we're talking about power, the number one greatest power that exists here within all of us is, of course, love. When you come
Mm-hmm.
in love with yourself, to yourself, towards others, to the earth itself, that is your greatest power. That is your greatest protection. You literally need nothing else if you can come at every moment in love. And as much as you can. Yeah, it's hard to do that in every moment, sure. But if you can remind yourself, where can I find the love in this moment?
Mm.
It becomes easier the more you remind yourself that love is all there is.
Exactly.
And if I just
What
see
am I
that,
choosing?
nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. I can just move forward knowing that I'm walking in this beautiful flowing river of love that is just carrying me. It's so simple
That's
when that's all it
exactly.
is. Yeah.
Exactly. When before you respond to something or react to something, okay, am I coming from fear or love? Am I coming from my pain or am I coming from my heart? And ask yourself, well, what would my heart say
Mm-hmm.
instead of this reaction, instead of blowing up, instead of abusing, instead of condemning, instead of whatever, shutting myself down, instead of just submitting? Well, what would my heart say? What is my truth? And how can I come from that place of love? And what does that even mean for me? And this does take introspecting and doing the exploratory inner work
The personal
of getting to know.
responsibility. Yeah, there it is
That
again.
is it. There it is, poking its beautiful little head.
Yeah.
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 The-
Yeah. Very, very
But and it's
important.
so important. The world needs empowered people. The world needs people that are deeply anchored to their truth, deeply connected to their heart, and deeply in their power and their sovereignty, so that we can actually live an embodied and empowered and beautiful utopic world.
Yeah, because we
Like,
can.
it's possible.
It is. It is. We
Yeah.
just all need to believe it and understand how powerful we are. And that we're just
Hmm.
playing in this ocean of energy, really. We're all just drops in it. It's
Yes.
really cool to think about it like that.
Yes, it really
And
is.
we think fear
Mm.
is a powerful energy, and it can be, but it can't even hold a flame to love, I mean, it doesn't even come close. When you think about
Yeah.
it, you really truly think about it. And so it's like, what are we doing sometimes when we get scared? We have to remember that we are always held in this love. Yeah. Mm.
Yes, we are coming home to ourselves. So hopefully that landed for you. I would love to hear if you want to share it with us, if you want to email or connect in the Facebook group or on Instagram. In what ways are you reclaiming your power right now?
Mm. Yes.
Or what ways are you committed to starting to reclaim your power? Or what are you looking to no longer accept, to allow more space for what you actually want to accept? We want to hear it. We'd love for you to be a part of the conversation, because this is the work that we get to do, and you're not alone. We get to do it together.
No one is ever, ever, ever alone. Just might feel like that sometimes, but never. It's not. It's not even possible. It's one of those impossibilities in this world. Never alone.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to leave you guys with a song for today. Very appropriate one, I might add. This is Wookiefoot, Don't Shit on Me. Until next time, we love you all.
We love you.
Also, before we cue up today's song, as a quick reminder, don't forget to download the Golden Key audio or ebook as my free gift to you at goldenkey.gift using the Golden Key code POSITIVEHEAD. And please, if you enjoy my gift, leave a positive review on Amazon so others can unlock their lives with the help of the Golden Key as well.
Hold on, everybody. Here it comes. Two men come and disagree to agree, both one to the other saying what should be. Each climbing higher up, self-righteous powers and catapulting shoulds back and forth just empowers them. Don't get me wrong, I'm the king of it. Just a little bit hippie, hypocrite, winging it. Sometimes thinking that I'm knowing everything of it and putting my should inside a song and singing it. Sing it. Should as it should maybe sounds absurd, but should could be heard almost every other word. When you should on your friends is bad for the health, but you gotta be careful not to should on yourself. These towers of Babel all inevitably fall with cracks in the wall and the building implodes. From the wreckage and the rubble we rebuild another bubble, cause that's the way the monkey mind goes. With a should do this and a should do that, everybody's just trying to do good. But how many shoulds would a good man say? If he could stop, would he stop shoulds? Oh my friend, for the wounds to mend, there's only one thing we should do. Don't you should on me, and I won't drop my shoulds on you. Unfolding our numbskulls like a spark in the dark cave where the lights and sound waves paves the way to mental higher ground. All the little thoughts we collect, turn them into bricks with the intellect. Build a tower in your hypothalamus and cortex, our own fortress in the cerebellum. We can carry our convictions to the roof and yell them at the top of our lungs, standing on the top rung. Should as it should maybe sounds absurd, but should could be heard almost every other word. When you should on your friends is bad for the health, but you gotta be careful not to should on yourself. Towers of Babel all inevitably fall with cracks in the wall and the building implodes. From the wreckage and the rubble we rebuild another bubble, cause that's the way the monkey mind goes. With the should do this and the should do that, everybody's just trying to do good. But how many shoulds would a good man say? If he could stop, would he stop should? Oh my friend, for the room's too many, there's only one thing we should do. Don't you should on me, and I won't drop my should